guess I should record my video now because it's quite late. It's past 11. I've been meditating for way past an hour now, and I could go on for hours more, I believe. And what's funny is that I tried to meditate in the early afternoon and I couldn't. Today was sort of a glimpse of awakening or enlightenment. Not enlightenment because I still feel very separate from everything. I don't have that unity consciousness or awareness. Like, I feel separate from you, from everything. So I'm not feeling enlightened at all. But today it felt like I had no problem. I could still very clearly see the issues that are going on in my life, but I could not see them as a problem in the moment. It felt like things I should take care of in the future, but not now. And that stayed for the entire day. What's funny today as well is that I didn't feel very much emotion. I was in a quite neutral space. Yeah, it didn't feel like blissful or ecstatic. I just felt at peace, and even feeling at peace seems too advanced for the way I felt today. I just felt tranquility. I discovered a new non-dual speaker today. I have a few lately. YouTube recommends new ones almost every day, and I noticed that I love listening to new speakers for, I would say, a very short period now. After one day and a half, meaning I binge watch a lot of their videos. At first, the freshness and the newness of the words they use and the way they express seems to put me in this space like the one I'm in right now or today. But after a few days and a few videos, it seems like I can't hear the words anymore. It's just like noise. And it's not helpful anymore. It's too bad you can't see her. Obviously. I went to take a walk. I went for a walk this afternoon. It was very, very cold. So I didn't walk for long. And I didn't walk very far because it was cold, only a few blocks around my home. But it seemed like I was so in the present moment. I was so just looking at things without any mental chatter about things, no judgments, no opinions, no commentary, that at each turn I was wondering where I was, and I knew I was around. It didn't feel like I was lost, but since the simple looking at where I was more in the forefront of my experience than my mind chatter saying you're at the corner of this street and that street on the south east corner or whatever. I was just looking at the houses and looking at the snow and the street, and then being blinded by the sun and enjoying it, and feeling cold and not wanting to walk for a long time, and then not making myself wrong or guilty for that, not saying, oh, you should walk longer, it's healthy for you. See, I could hear or see those thoughts, but that was not my primary experience at that time. So I was excited to meditate because I thought this is going to be a great meditation. This time I won't be overwhelmed by my thoughts. And yet, when I sat down in the afternoon, I didn't want to. I thought, this is so chill and peaceful and quiet. I don't want to sit. I want to enjoy it. And I didn't do much today actually, but I was enjoying not doing much. So I sat for a half hour and then I got up. And I don't feel like I need to make a video every day. Like if I had decided not to make one today or not to meditate for an hour today, I wouldn't have felt guilt around it, which is good. But I still felt like doing it. I was curious to see. Yeah, part of me was scared that sitting for 1 hour would bring up all the usual, how did I call them? The usual bullying thoughts. But I guess it was the end of the day, so I was willing to try, and that didn't happen. Thoughts were still there, but tonight they were not bully thoughts, they were just thoughts. They were slower, there were less thoughts than usual. So I could hear the sound of the dishwasher and the fridge, and it didn't matter. And I didn't have any sensational experience during my meditation, but it just felt not even good. It just was. I just was sitting. And since it's spring break, we get up later in the morning, so it's already 11:30 and I'm not tired yet. So I'm thinking I might go back to sit and meditate. Although now I feel my eyes closing. Maybe I'm just gonna go to sleep. What's also interesting is that when I sit every day, today's day 21, I believe, every day my mind thinks, when I'm sitting, my mind thinks, what am I going to say in the video? I've got nothing to say, or you have to find something to say. So I'm like always analyzing my experience so that I can share it. And once I press record, I have no idea what to say anymore. It feels like so much pressure to summarize what came up. And today was no different. I was sitting and I could hear myself say, oh, I could say that, I should say that, that's interesting. But yet I didn't judge myself for that today. I just thought that's the way it is. Thoughts want to plan, egos, brains, minds want to predict what's going to happen. It makes them feel more secure, whatever. I didn't judge myself for trying to think in advance what I was going to say. And yet I knew that it was useless for my mind to spin and try to plan ahead what I was going to say, because once I was gonna press record, I have no idea of what is going to happen, what's going to come out. Even if I had a script, I might trip on my words, I might change my mind, something might come up. I guess that's what they say when they say there is no free will. That's been challenging for me in the last few weeks. This concept that they talk about in non-duality, that there is no free will and things are just happening and arising. It's challenging, and yet it seems so obvious. I've tried to fix my life for my entire life. I'm 38 and I've tried to control and fix my life and do the things I should do to make it work, and it didn't work. And yet on some other level I could say, well, I guess it worked because I'm here, fed, clothed, sheltered, and alive. So I guess things worked, and they didn't work the way I wanted. And I tried to coerce myself and push myself to do things in order to achieve that thing, but it didn't work. Or sometimes it did work. So I wouldn't have chosen my life to go the way it went. So I don't have very, very much free will. And the response and the argument could be, well, I chose to, for example, meditate for 100 days and choose this challenge, but did I really? Who chose that? And if I had decided not to make the video tonight, who's that I that decided that? Who's to say if, and like they say, even with the thoughts, we identify with our thoughts, but I wouldn't choose those bullying thoughts on purpose. And I tried to change them or control them, and it doesn't work. So they're not mine. And you could say, well, yes, they're yours because other people don't have those thoughts, and maybe you don't choose them consciously, but subconsciously you chose them. But that also doesn't make sense, because I also tried my best. I've known about the subconscious mind for decades, and I still try to make the subconscious conscious, the unconscious conscious, so that I can consciously choose and create my reality, like they say in law of attraction teachings. But yet who decides what I manage to bring out of my subconscious into my conscious mind? There's things not working the way I want in my life right now. There are things I wish I could take out of my unconscious, subconscious mind and bring to my conscious mind so that I could change my experience. Who decides if that happens or if it doesn't? So I guess there is no free will. They're right. But if there is no free will, who's me? Who am I? Wouldn't it be amazing if that question suddenly was my awakening, my enlightenment, or whatever? For some reason, I don't believe that will happen, because I don't know. I don't believe that because my mind feels very much in control right now, although it's not in control. Let's be honest. We never are. I'm not in control. My mind is not in control, but that doesn't feel distressing at the moment. I've been speaking to myself for 15 minutes. One thought said, you should stop, this is too long. And one says, who cares? You have almost no followers on that channel, no one cares. And even if you had followers, they could stop anytime. And you're talking to yourself, so you can keep talking as long as you want. Talking to yourself feels like the definition of being crazy. Although, don't you remember? I don't know, when I was in my teens, I heard many times that actually speaking to yourself is a sign of sanity. Whatever. I'm just rambling now. This conversation makes no sense. I wonder if I could speak for hours and hours and publish it. I could. There I see my ego and my mind chatter, panicking. No, you have to stop this video, it's too long. No, what you say has to make sense, otherwise, what if someone watches it and judges you? I'm tired. Good night.